If Terry Rozier is found guilty, if Chauncey Billups is found guilty, if Damon Jones is found guilty, they need to be completely taken out of all NBA operations. Chauncey Billups is a Hall of Famer. He needs to be taken out of the Hall of Fame, because when you undermine the integrity of the game, that is not becoming of somebody who is in the NBA Hall of Fame. So I want to start off this episode by talking about the gambling probe from the FBI on the NBA. Multiple people arrested. Chauncey Billups arrested. Damon Jones arrested. And same thing with Terry Rozier. He was arrested as well. So this is the write-up from Fox News. Ryan Mork and Ryan Gatiss, the Ryan and Ryan duo there. NBA legend Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, arrested as part of FBI gambling probe. Federal officials detailed their investigation at a news conference in New York. Portland Trail Blazers head coach Chauncey Billups, Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, and former NBA guard and coach Damon Jones were among the more than 24 arrested as a part of a widespread FBI investigation on Thursday, officials said on Thursday. The federal investigation involved multiple agencies and the NYPD as they targeted the La Cosa Nostra crime families in two separate operations across several states. Officials said Billups, Rozier, and Jones faced charges of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and conspiracy to commit money laundering. Quote, day in and day out, the FBI is following the money, and today is the result of that outstanding work, FBI Director Kash Patel told Fox News Digital in an exclusive statement. This operation involved an expansive effort across 11 states, arresting 34 subjects, including multiple NBA players and coaches who allegedly took advantage of their own positions of power to rig gambling systems for their own benefit, eventually funneling money to La Cosa Nostra, enriching some of the most notorious crime networks in the world. That ends today, and the FBI's effort to make sure gambling operations of all kind stay within the law are only beginning. Thank you to the outstanding men and women of the FBI who pursued this case and followed the facts accordingly. The NBA placed Billups and Rozier on immediate leave of absence. We are in the process of reviewing the federal indictments announced today, the league said. Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups are being placed on immediate leave from their teams, and we will continue to cooperate with the relevant authorities. We take these allegations with the utmost seriousness, and the integrity of our game remains our top priority. Officials detailed their two operations, Zen Diagram and Nothing But Net, in a press conference in New York. Quote, your winning streak has ended. Your luck has run out. Violating the law is a losing proposition. You can bet on that. U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of New York, Joseph Nosella, said. Federal authorities launched an investigation dubbed Operation Zen Diagram into a nationwide gambling ring, allegedly involving members of the La Cosa Nostra crime families who allegedly defrauded unwitting victims of millions. Okay, so I don't want to read the whole article because this is a long article, and I do want to give you guys my opinion on this. I personally don't think that this is the backbreaking thing that's going to bring down the NBA. You know, I think a lot of people are going to talk about this, that are talking about this. I think they're kind of blowing things out of proportion from a perspective, right? Like, yeah, this is a bad look. No doubt about it. But, you know, some of the things that Chauncey Billups is being accused of is like poker, like, you know, fixing poker games. And to be honest with you, like, that's not in the NBA's control. It's a bad look because it's an NBA coach doing that. But the main thing that they need to look at is the fact that these are coaches that have information on injuries. This is a player in Terry Rozier that, you know, now with player lines being a part of betting, he can tank his performance and have people bet the under on him and make a bunch of money doing that. That's the stuff that the NBA needs to be concerned about. And that's the stuff that going forward, the NBA needs to take accountability for and needs to put more strict guidelines into it. And I think that personally, when you look at Terry Rozier, and the main thing that I think the NBA needs to be concerned about is the fact that the NBA, according to Brian Windhorst, knew about what was going on with Terry Rozier And the Miami Heat traded away a first-round pick and Kyle Lowry, a 2027 protected first-round pick, a lottery-protected first-round pick. And if that doesn't convey, that's an unprotected 2028 first-round draft pick. They traded that for Terry Rozier. And the NBA knew about it. That's the thing that the NBA needs to be concerned about. That is an awful look for the league. If the NBA knew about this and still allowed a team to trade away a first round draft pick, look, I don't necessarily think the Heat have a really bright future. 2028, if that's an unprotected pick, that could be the number one overall pick that they traded away for somebody who was throwing games. That is an awful look for the league. And the Miami Heat, absolutely, there needs to be something that happens to the point where, hey, that first round pick that you traded away, that's our bad. Like, they absolutely should not be on the hook for that first round pick that they traded away, because that is an absolute atrocity. It's shame that the NBA allowed them to do that. Awful that they allowed them to do that. But, when it comes to Chauncey Billups and Damon Jones, they have access to information that most people don't have access to. And the NBA is going to start putting in more strict guidelines when it comes to injury updates, right? They got more strict with it. Now they're going to get even more strict with it because, coaches across all sports, this isn't just the NBA, across all sports, don't like telling you if a guy's playing or not playing too early, because then the coaches can adjust their game plans to adjust for the fact that a player is playing or a player isn't playing. So they have to create multiple game plans. Okay, if he isn't playing, this is our game plan. If he is playing, this is our game plan. So they don't want other teams knowing that. So they willingly don't update these injury reports because they want to make sure that they keep their cards close to their chest from that perspective. I think the NBA is going to, be a little more strict with that. But I just think that when you talk about gambling, right, I think that this needs to be prosecuted to the furthest extent that the NBA can go towards, right? Like, they need to ban Terry Rozier if he's proven guilty. This is all if he's proven guilty, because right now these are just accusations. It's innocent until proven guilty. The FBI still needs to have their trial. If Terry Rozier is found guilty, if Chauncey Billups is found guilty, if Damon Jones is found guilty, they need to be completely taken out of all NBA operations. Chauncey Billups is a Hall of Famer. He needs to be taken out of the Hall of Fame, because when you undermine the integrity of the game, that is not becoming of somebody who is in the NBA Hall of Fame. And Chauncey Billups was one of my favorite point guards of all time. And hey, maybe he's innocent. I don't know. We still have to wait for all the information to come out, and we still have to wait for, these trials to take place. But if he's proven guilty here, I lose all respect for Chauncey Billups as a player, as a coach, and those memories that I had watching him when I was younger just completely go away. It's one of my favorite players of all time. I loved Chauncey Billups as a player. But this is damning, and this is completely unbecoming of an NBA legend, undermining the integrity of the game. Because at that point, you show me that you don't actually love basketball. You may love basketball, but you don't actually love basketball if you're willing to undermine the integrity of the game. This is, to me, when it comes to sports, we need to protect the sanctity of sports. We need to protect the integrity of sports across every sports league. These fans invest their time, invest their money into these sports leagues, into these sports teams. And if you're telling me that somebody is willingly undermining the integrity of the game, I have zero respect for that person when it comes to them actually as a person and as an athlete, as a coach, as an individual. I lose all respect for them, because that is just shameful. That is shameful behavior. And, like I said earlier, with what's being presented right now when it comes to the league, when it comes to Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, and Damon Jones, the NBA can recover from this, right? But from what I've heard across multiple news outlets, that this is just the tip of the iceberg, that something even bigger is coming down the line. Now, that might be something where the integrity of the game is going to be attacked on a big time level. But for right now, this is all accusations. Everybody has their fair day in court. That's the American justice system. Justice is blind. And we'll wait and see what happens. But, when it comes to the La Cosa Nostra, the mafia, I'm cool on talking about that. I'm just going to leave that where it may. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So, huge story in the NBA and wow. What a way to, because I thought the NBA had such a great start to the season. You talk about the Houston Rockets game versus the Thunder going into 2 overtimes, fantastic game. You have a legitimate star in the making with Victor Wembanyama, who we're going to talk about. It was a great night for the NBA. It was a great first few days for the NBA in the NBA season. And for this to happen, again, it's not going to ruin the NBA. To some people it may, but the game was heading in the right direction, and I still believe it's heading in the right direction. This takes it back a step, though. No doubt about it.